Okay, guys. That to be different, break from the norm. That's why I tried my part at redecorating. How do you like it? Don't it make you want to tackle the trial with renewed energy? What are you getting at with this over-the-top spectacle? Anywho, the time for new beginnings is upon us, so make the most of your fresh start with this brand spanking new class trial. The ultimate photographer, Mahiru, she came across a bit abrasive but was actually very kind and always stayed true to herself. That life was cut short by somebody here. Okay kids, guys, short attention span, so here's a refresher. You'll get to debate over who done it during the trial. Using what you're determined, you will vote on the verdict. If you correctly identify the culprit, only the guilty party will get punished. But if you lay the blame on the wrong person, everyone except for the perp will get punished. As the sole survivor, the culprit will receive the right to leave Jabberwock Island. Ugh, I'll never get over hearing those despicable rules. Duly noted. But on to our topic du jour. Sink your veins into my brilliant masterpiece, Twilight Syndrome Murder Case. Can we forget about that dumb game? I never even played it. Are you sure that's such a good idea? I imagine those who beat the game already know this, but it's based on a real-life event. In other words, it's a non-fiction game. It even said as much on the start screen. It stands to reason the gameplay is evolved since it's the move this time around. A detailed explanation would be appreciated for those such as myself who refrain from playing. Sure, I was stumped myself until Nanami lent me a hand after the murder, but I can offer a basic explanation. The game takes place in an academy, where 7 different characters are introduced: Girl A, Girl B, Girl C, Girl D, Girl E, Boy F. And finally, the high school girl who was murdered, right? Murdered? It had that kind of violent content? Yes, the game bounces between the second day, fourth day, first day, and then third day, as it reveals the story centered on the school murder. You have to insert a hidden code to beat it. But more than anything, I was intrigued by the staff credits at the end. Why don't we determine who the characters are first? Yeah, going by the names on the staff credits, the way Gorei acts so timid, I think she's most likely Sumiki. Gobi is short with a foul mouth. Sayanji was definitely the model for her. But why am I in the game? This is an invasion of privacy. I don't give a rat's butt how that bee is portrayed. Short and foul mouth doesn't match me at all. It matches you perfectly. I could say the same for you and Gorsi. She stood out as hyper with a unique way of talking. I'm in there too, and then there was Goldie, always seen tilting around a camera. She was the victim this time. Mahiru Kuzumi. Yep, I'd say that sounds right. For now, we should skip Girl E and move on to Boy F, I think. He's the only boy character. Boy F should be you, Kuzuryu. Ha, you saying I'm a character in that quality game? Don't make me laugh. Oh yeah, speaking of Kuzuryu, the name popped up twice. Twice? Yes, and the names listed in the staff credits. It was listed like this. Kuzuiyu got credited twice. What's that supposed to mean? There was a point in the game where Boy F said, or something like that. So ain't it safe to assume the other Kuzuiyu is his little sister under that context? The last of the cast left unaccounted for are Girl E and White, the murdered high school girl. Based on what Boy F said, it didn't sound like Girl E was his little sister. If we can eliminate her, Boy F's little sister could only be the murdered high school girl. It's true, I got a sister, but so what if I do? Don't confuse reality with some cheap game. But this game, you see, it's irrefutably linked with reality. She ain't that type to go out that easy. That's precisely what makes it work as a move. You're trying to... me. I tell you, that brat was mouthing off at me till that moment I left for Hope's Peak. And that wasn't all that long ago. Now I know a gangster would never lie in court, but maybe you're mistaken on that. I mean, all the missing memories? Shut up, I'll whip your stuffing out. Freaking football plush put's face. Well, at least now we've made clear who all the characters in the game are. If we tidy it up, it should look like this, I think. You're still talking about a story in a video game, Sato. By process of elimination, Girl E must be Sato. By Sato, you don't mean that scrumptious Sato with a love for rice, do ya? Who are you talking about? Never mind. I get the feeling that whoever it is, they're irrelevant to us right now. Going back to the game, I'd like to point out that on the fourth day, Girl E was also murdered. The motive was revenge. You see, the culprit who murdered Kuzuriyu's younger sister, or in terms of the Game Boy F's little sister, was none other than Girl E. To bring the truth of this murder to light, I believe we'll need to unravel the mystery behind this case. Her murder took place in the music room on the first day. I had a feeling it would come in handy, so I mapped it out. If you don't mind, I'll go over the course of events. The group of four composed of Girl A, Girl B, Girl C, and Girl D were in the entrance hall when they heard something like glass breaking. Following the sound, they raced up the stairs to the second floor. When they got there, they found Girl E standing in front of the door to the music room. She testified, I just heard a crash in the music room, but since the door was locked, they couldn't get in. Girl D went to the teacher's lounge to get the key. After what seemed like forever, the five eventually managed to enter, only to find the body of a fellow high school girl who was fatally bashed in the head. They assumed the culprit must have fled out the window, going by the broken window in the room. It only made sense for that to be the breaking glass sound they heard from the entrance hall just a few minutes ago. Compounded by the fact Girl E's school swimsuit was also stolen, the escaped culprit was assumed to be a pervert, and that basically sums up the first day, I think. I'm honestly overwhelmed by how easy it was to follow your synopsis. It shows you're a gaming champ. We witnessed the ultimate gamer at play. But the culprit wasn't actually a pervert, it was Go-E, wasn't it? I bet Go-E locked the door to the music room from the inside and slipped out the window to meet up with the others. Afraid not. Dad put her outside the school building. In order for her to return to the music room, she needed to slip by the other floor in the entrance hall. Then couldn't she lock it from outside? But then how would you explain the key Goldie had to leave to obtain? For the record, I think it's safe to exclude the possibility of a spare key. There was no mention of one in the game. I have no idea what's going on here. The sound they heard from the entrance hall wasn't the window breaking at all. It was a vase in the classroom next door. The murder was nearly complete by the time the four gathered in the entrance hall. After Go-E killed Boyev's sister in the music room and broke the window, she went to the teacher's lounge to retrieve the music room's key. After locking the door from the hallway, she went back to the teacher's lounge to return the key. When she figured all four were in the entrance hall, Go-E broke the vase in the adjacent classroom. That way she could trick the others into thinking the murder just happened. The killer got away only seconds ago. It also allowed Go-E to act as if she just arrived. It's coming together. When the other four came running to investigate the sound. Now doesn't this resolve the mystery? Not so fast. You still haven't identified the murder weapon. Who cares about the dumb details? We know who the killer is. No good. I put in too much work. You're in for a real treat. See, I dropped some hints about what it is in the game. For real, man, this is such a pain in the neck. If we're going there, the murder weapon was probably gravel from the fish tank, I think. Gravel, as in the tiny pebbles? Gravel, isn't that a little puny for a murder weapon? That's right. It would have been possible to turn the gravel into a lethal weapon if it was stuffed into that. Will you elaborate what exactly that is? Go-E's stolen swimsuit. Swiping the suit worked well with Go-E's ploy to make it seem like a deranged pervert was the culprit, but by filling the suit to make a bludgeon, she don't have to worry about putting the gravel into a bag that she'd need to dispose of as evidence. It literally killed two birds with one stone. The joy of seeing kids truly beat the game I made. It's a special kind of bliss only creators get to savor. Actually, what happens next is essential. It's revealed Go-E had someone who could be considered her collaborator. That just so happened to be Goldie, eh? But isn't that Big Sis? How dare you imply Big Sis was in cahoots with her? The vase shards would have served as valuable evidence in the music room murder case. But they were tied up by Goldie. The whole reason why Goldie resorted to murder in the first place was to protect Goldie, who had apparently suffered all kinds of bullying at the hands of the victim. Aware of this, Goldie tried to convince her to stop once and for all. Her attempt at persuasion turned into a heated fight. Well, she snapped and did the Missy in, eh? But on the fourth and final day, Go-E also turns up dead, and her killer was Boyef, duh, wanting to avenge his sister as if consumed by the fires of hell. Boyef took Go-E's life with his own hands in a tried and true cliche. But, isn't Boyef supposed to be? So, we're talking about what happened in a video game, remember? To be fair, that's the only stance you can safely take. You'd have a major problem on your hands if it's depicting the truth. Say what? This is such a pain. None of it makes a lick of sense. Does anyone shown in the game remember any of this? I'm afraid not. Of course not. All your memories of school life got taken. I don't need to remember anything to know who's guilty. It's stinking obvious that Pipsqueak is the killer. He murdered Go-E and Big Sis Koizumi. But was Koizumi's murder truly linked to that game? Yeah, it was. At the very least, the culprit played it. Koizumi was killed with a metal bat, just like Go-E. We can't just write that off. It's like the culprit resorted to the same modus operandi as a means to exact revenge for Boyev's sister. See, we know you did it, so fess up already. You killed Big Sis Koizumi, didn't you? Trying to pin this on me, there's no way a game could dupe someone into committing murder. It totally did dupe your gullible pea-brain into killing her, so you could have your revenge. Wait, we've all arrived at the truth if we jump to conclusions. I agree that Kuzuryu is suspicious, but doesn't it seem too obvious what you're getting at? There's always the possibility this could be the true culprit's trap. Well, wouldn't you agree, Sayanji? Bluntly put, I suspect you're the true culprit. Sayanji, the true culprit? Be right back, guys. Say, what? Where the hell did that come from? You ugly four-eyed hound. The true culprit most likely played the video game, which is how she came to learn of the hidden relationships. Didn't you attempt to frame Kuzuryu as the culprit by taking advantage of this knowledge? The game's motive gave you the perfect cover. You honestly believe Sayanji murdered Koizumi? How could you even suggest I killed Big Sis Koizumi? You meanie! Pepeko? Why in the world will you call Hyoko the true culprit? Do you realize what she did today? She went to the beach house, the scene of the murder. I never went to the beach house. How can you make such a ludicrous accusation? If you weren't there, could you testify where you were and what you were doing? I spent the whole day crushing aunties. I never set foot in that dumpy beach house. Never set foot. But if that's the case, something doesn't quite add up. You see, these little footprints left in front of the beach house are an exact match with the ones I took the liberty of getting from your room. What? How dare you break into my room, you sick lolicon freak? My footprints aren't that fugly. They must be Sumiki's. The footprints only lead the direction of the beach house. Simply put, the only way for that to be possible is if the culprit went in through another entrance. Another entrance, like a door they could waltz through on the way in, but not on the way out? Why is it that the roadside door Koizumi was leaning against? Indeed, it could only mean something transpired between those doors. What was it, Sayanji? It just came back to me. I remember all about visiting the beach house now. At last, the truth. So, as I'm sure you already know, I go on morning walks as part of my daily routine. Can't believe that slipped my mind. So, that's when I went to the beach house. It was during my morning walk. Well, geez, if that's when you made the prints, you got nothing to do with this case. Whoa. Reality check. This is totally fresh news. Fresh news? More like a fresh load of steaming crud. So you're assuming that you didn't rendezvous with Koizumi at the beach house. Is that correct? Got that straight. I mean, how could I possibly rendezvous with someone I never saw? God, is this a trial or a moron convention? Sayanji, can you keep singing that same tune after I present this letter? We don't want to give ourselves away by acting awkward. Your friend Hiyoko Sayanji. Isn't that the letter we found on Koizumi? I see, you play pen pal with Koizumi just to arrange for your little get together. Look, where's that letter from? I've never seen it before, honest to God. It's a trap. Someone is trying to frame me. And who exactly is this someone? That guy, it's, that one. Anyway, remember that strange mask we found at the beach house? The scumbag who wore that mask is the real culprit, don't you think? Yeah, didn't you wear that mask when you killed Koizumi? I wouldn't be caught dead in that K-mask. I mean, absolutely not. Sorry, obviously not. It's true, this is not Sayanji's handiwork, I'm certain. That mask belonged to Sparkling Justice. Sparkling what? Sparkling Justice. The presence of that mask says it all. Sparkling Justice is hiding somewhere on these islands. She means presence. That very serial killer, the infamous Sparkling Justice, is the true culprit behind this murder. Being spew another word of such drivel, and I shall tell you asunder. Why are you so upset, dude? It's not like you to stick to reality. Miss Sonia is clearly suffering from culture shock. Right, Miss Sonia? Say, Hanada. It just struck me. We witnessed Sayanji with our own eyes. Weren't the two of us at the diner around 3 o'clock? A bit later, Miyoda and Sumiki showed up. I remember that. Me too. Hiyoko was crying her heart out, running with all her might. She flew from the direction of the beach. Will you say, yeah, I'm pretty sure we saw her right around 3:30. That falls within the right window of time for her to kill Koizumi and make a run for it. If they met at 2:30, going by the letter, come to think of it, didn't you also go by the diner Kuzuryu? Did you happen to run into Sayanji? Nope. It was just coincidence. I was passing by the place. After my run-in with used punks, I went back to the hotel and didn't see no one else. That sounds way suspicious. Can you assume me in Discord? If not, shut up. It's the truth. At any rate, that letter and Soda's testimony say it all. Sayanji met with Koizumi at the beach house. She most likely lured Koizumi to the beach house with the intent to kill her from the very beginning. That's precisely why she informed Koizumi wrote to me in a letter to keep anyone else from finding out. Arriving at the beach house ahead of time, Sayanji hid in the closet, waiting to leap out for the kill. The closet? You mean that pigsty? Indeed, evidence of her presence was found on the floor in there. Anyone who investigated the beach house should be able to verify as much. It's true. There was a gummy on the ground. Precisely, and as I recall, you enjoy eating gummies, Sayanji. What gummies? Will you believe I never eaten one before? Don't lie, you were pigging out on them back at the restaurant. And didn't you try hiding something just now? I'm not hiding anything, Sayanji. This is really important. If it's about this case, please let us see it. You got it all wrong. You got the wrong person. Keep your filthy mitts off me, pervert. Whoa, hey. Yeah, another task that calls upon my greatness. Go forth for Dark Deva's destruction. Eh? Stop, that tickles. That's the stuff. I knew you had some on you. That sells it. After taking Koizumi's life, you were careless and failed to realize the evidence you left at the scene of the crime in the form of a yellow, bear-shaped gummy. Not true, huh? Yellow? The gummy at the murder scene was yellow? Yeah, I saw it. Why? 'Cause that doesn't make sense. The only flavors Sayanji keeps on hand are strawberry, melon, grape, and orange. I'm like an elephant when it comes to food. She speaks true. There's not a yellow gummy in the mix. Green, orange, red, white. Exactly. Those are the only kind I ever eat. Yeah, there were bags of gummies by the boxer when I checked her cottage. But I'm certain they were all of those type. Wait, back the hell up. You don't think one goddamn gummy's enough to clear a name, do ya? The most incriminating piece of evidence is still pointing right at her. Her footprints in front of the beach house, right? I already told you. I made those during my morning walk. I'm with him. That's an invaluable clue Koizumi left for us. Be right back, guys. by mustering the last of her strength to block the roadside door. Give it up. Actually, I hate to point this out, but based on my autopsy, it looks like Koizumi died, well, instantly. Instantly? An insta-kill? Yes, going by the wound, the weapon was likely the metal bat found on the floor nearby. Therefore, it was most likely the culprit blocked. Keep taking us for a ride, and I'll send you to hell. It's the honest truth. Eek, I'm sorry. I'm not surprised considering the body left a trail of blood as it was dragged to the door. But why'd the purple one block it anyway? Seems to me they'd get blood all over themselves if they mess with that gore fest. But I don't remember Sayanji being all bloody. You hear that? Yeah, just look at me. Not a drop of blood in sight, is there? Not so fast. Ain't there a shower room in the beach house? All she had to do was pop in and rinse off whatever blood she got from moving the stiff. Kuzuiyu, you may not be aware of this, but that shower is currently out of order. Sorry, I haven't gotten around to fixing it yet. Okay, so she must have stripped to keep from getting it on her clothes. Afterwards, she slipped back into that thing, and nobody devised her. Dude, why are you barking up Sayanji's tree like a mad dog? But back off. The footprints proved she was there at the beach house. It's gotta be her. But the notion Sayanji removed her clothes is preposterous. How the hell you figured that? She can't put on a kimono by herself. She what? You're messing with me. It's true, she couldn't bathe because of it and turned into a royal stink bomb. I didn't stink, I just got a little smelly was all. Not to mention there's also a rule against changing clothes in the beach house, isn't there? Yep, there sure is. I'm sure Monokuma will make any violators pay. Yep, even back at the safari park, I was an infamous stickler for the rules. I was thinking if we have to cross off the shower and a wardrobe change, wouldn't someone who was actually covered in blood be the most suspicious? Like say Owari here. And the way she showed up for the beach party oozing with. Huh? Me? You got some balls to try shifting the blame onto me, punk. I told you, Coach Nidai beat me to a bloody pulp. That I did. I had to go all out or she never backed down. I'm fine. Sheesh, don't give me that. Yes, I personally treated her injuries and can say for certain that was Aurori's blood. Hey, so to be clear, does this mean you're not pointing fingers at me anymore? Yep, looks that way. See, what did I tell you? I'd never kill Big Sis Koizumi in a bazillion years. She was super nice and taught me all kinds of things. How could you even think I'd use stupid dumbheads? But please don't cry anymore, Sayanji. Everything is going to be just fine now, so please. Stuff it, pig puke. Gay wicked pain now and die. Eek, I'm not pig puke. Now look, now that you're free and clear, isn't it time you came clean too? Even if you aren't the culprit, didn't you nonetheless visit the beach house? Could you tell us what transpired there? Okay, fine, I'll tell you alright. So first thing this morning, Big Sis came up to me and asked if we could meet up later. But earlier you denied. I was afraid it'd make me look suspicious. Anyway, how did you respond to Koizumi's invitation? I accepted, duh. Not like I saw any reason to turn her down. I'm not embarrassed to be seen with her unlike the rest of you. You just had to throw in an insult. At the time we had agreed to meet around 2 o'clock, but then I don't know, it was right afternoon. I found a letter in my college's post. A letter? Yeah, see? I only went to the beach house because of this letter from Koizumi, huh? Does the letter strike you as odd? Koizumi's letter states, meet me at the beach house on the island with the ruins at 2:30. There's a discrepancy in the meeting times, not to mention it's weird for both letters to request changing the location to the beach house. Time itself shift 30 minutes. Hiyoko, baby, care to share your thoughts as the writer? I told you, I didn't write this chicken scratch. How many times do I need to say it? Wouldn't it be reasonable to assume the culprit forged both? Seeing as the penmanship and contents are almost identical, it definitely would. We should interpret this to mean that the culprit forged the letters as a means to gain control of their actions. So Big Sis Koizumi killer was playing me like a fiddle. That's absolutely unforgivable. Meaning you went to the beach house at 2 like it in the letter, didn't you? What took place after that is very important. Could you tell us what happened? Well, I fell asleep. How could you possibly fall asleep? What were you thinking? It's not like I wanted to. I think I probably got knocked out with some kind of drug. A drug? Come to think of it, hazardous chemicals normally regulated by the EPA were just sitting out on the shelves of the pharmacy of the new island. Perhaps it came from there. And when I came to, I was in the closet. I rushed out and saw Big Sis Koizumi's body. So then you fell into a panic and went out of the beach house, huh? I was scared out of my mind. I had no idea what was going on. I was so scared I couldn't even think straight. The culprit most likely intended to frame you from the very beginning. That's why they called you to the beach house before the victim and kept you unconscious in the closet. The whole reason why they blocked the door with Koizumi's body was to ensure Saionji left her footprints. All of their actions point toward framing Saionji. The meaning, I haven't done anything to deserve this. Why would they make out like I killed the most awesome Big Sis ever? Please wipe away your tears, Saionji. We believe you're innocent. Sure, it's wise to trust her that easily. Them's crocodile tears for all we know. We'll never get anywhere if we doubt every little thing. Doubt's the name of this class trial game. Suspicion is all we got. We gotta suspect anything and everything. But here you're leaping to buy into whatever story you hear. Have you lost your mind? You're wrong, Kuzui. This is a place to cast suspicion, but look in cooperation. The class trial is a place for us to put our best feet forward as we work together in pursuit of victory. Split between guilty and innocent, with two divisions of hope vying for the only hope of survival. This clash of hope against hope is precisely what makes it so beautiful. This is the true and rightful form of the class trial. Whose side are you on anyway? Don't be silly. As I've said before, I'm on the side of the ultimate hope, capable of crushing any despair. Geez, he sounds less sketchy if he just outright declared he was the enemy. Forget about wackadoodle here and get back to the case. You're right, Hiyoko's testimony must hold some new clues somewhere. Okay, let's say we take Sayanji's story at face value. What next? Where do we go from there? If the culprit was trying to frame Sayanji, couldn't we trace the evidence plant against her back to the killer? You mean those letters? More like this, maybe. You serious? How could that little gummy trace back to anything? By any chance, did you notice the gummy when you woke up in the closet, Sayanji? Come to think of it, I had no idea where I was when I first came to. So I looked over my surroundings, but I don't remember seeing it. As expected. Expected? Just think, wouldn't Sayanji dispose of any incriminating evidence that caught her eye if the culprit left it while she was there? Good point. In other words, the culprit must have left the gummy in the closet after Sayanji went out of the beach house for that to work, right? But wait, doesn't that mean the culprit returned to the scene of the crime after I left, rather than resort to that onerous undertaking? They could lie low somewhere within the beach house. No way, there was nowhere for anyone to hide. I took a quick peek in the shower room before I went out, and no one was there. Meaning the culprit must have come back. Which could be? No, I'm sure there was a hiding place. A what? Are those ears for show? I just said there wasn't anywhere to hide, stupid. Look, folks, she's back to our condescending spitfire. The culprit was probably hiding in the closet. The closet? But that's where they stuffed me. Are you just beyond stupid? Although you glanced over the closet when you woke up, it's not like you carefully examined your surroundings, was it? No. Nevertheless, was it possible for two people to hide in such a tight space, and without Sayanji noticing, I might add? That doubt is precisely why they chose that room. They did the impossible by creating a hiding spot in the surfboard case. The surfboard case, the shelves were a huge mess, with multiple surfboards stuffed into each one. Remember? Couldn't the culprit have intentionally done that to obscure their own hiding place? From what I remember, when we first visited the island, it wasn't such a pigsty. But wouldn't that put me inches away from the killer? Yeah, I remember it was 50. I have to agree with this line of thought. No one asked you. If they left Sayanji there alone, the killer risked the possibility she will undermine all of the work they put into framing her. It makes more sense for the culprit to remain in the beach house where they would keep watch on Sayanji from hiding. I gave you a hint, but you keep yapping away. You better wise up if you don't want a knuckle sandwich. That's it, brace yourself, Buster. Silence didn't save him from your fist. He's ticking me off. Oh, sorry, Aurori, that wasn't my intention. Excuse me, Monokuma, I'd appreciate some clarification regarding something that just dawned on me. Correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't the body discovery announcement run on the condition 3 or more students discover the body? Is the killer included in these 3? Let me think. Guess you could say it generally works out that way. Not your typical black and white answer, is it? Good gosh darn it. You gotta be the most annoying brat ever to pick up on that. Look, not to make excuses or nothing, but the Buy Discovery announcement ain't a tool for guesswork. It's meant to inform everybody a body has been found. That said, aren't there instances where that rule could prove fatal? We can't afford to remove it from our deductions. So which was it this time? Was the killer included in the 3 or not included? Fine, have it your way, I'll tell ya. The culprit was not included this time. There, end of story. I see, so that's the deal. How is that relevant? It's not. I was just a bit curious, so I decided to ask. Now then, back to where we left off. Weren't we discussing how the culprit hid inside the surfboard case? And then after Hiyoko split like a banana, the perp kicked back and enjoyed life trashing evidence, right? Wait, there is one thing we must clarify before we can push further. The culprit sealed the door with the dead before Saionji could flee, and yet, how did they ultimately cleanse themselves of the bloodstains? Dang it. Sorry, guys. Wait, there's one thing we must clarify before we can push further. The culprit... Okay, I always want that. But that... Couldn't they simply wash it off? But the shower don't work. Remember, it ain't happening. Then what if they wore one of the wetsuits stored in the closet? Maybe they slipped into one of those to move the body. How'd they get rid of the icky wetsuit? Don't you remember the no littering rule? Forget that minor detail, Sai. I believe it was possible to wash off the blood in that beach house, even if the shower was broken. But the water wasn't running, but there was water in the fridge. Enough that it would have worked just fine to rinse off the blood. Ah, that's it! I was going nuts trying to figure out what was up with that mountain of empty water bottles during the investigation. Well, on a drinking binge, and with water, yeah, I could see going through that much if they used it like a shower. Hold up, now that I think about it, if the culprit doused themselves in all the water, it'd leave them. I see realization has struck you as well, Hajime. The realization of who the culprit truly is. Hold up! What do you mean you know who it is? Is that true? If I look back on everyone I met right before Koizumi's body was found. Takoyama, was it you? Why do you think it was me? Because of how you arrived for the swim party at the diner. The beach house didn't have any towels for you to take advantage of, and it takes time to drip dry. Didn't you feed us that line about swimming in an attempt to weasel your way around it? Don't go all quiet on us. Say something. Enough of this crud. Sounds to me like yous only saw her at the diner. You never saw her come out the beach house, well, did ya? So for all you know, she really was swimming. But, but none of us did see her swimming, man. Not true. I saw her with my own 2 eyes. Huh? After I went in to use Wise Guys at the diner, I passed by her on my way back to the hotel. So there you have it. Eyewitness evidence that Dame came from the opposite direction from the beach house. Hold up, that doesn't make sense and you know it. It contradicts what you said earlier, remember? You claimed you went straight back to the hotel after bumping into you and didn't see anyone along the way. Don't jump the gun. It's still too early in the game to string that dame up as the killer. We still ain't figured out how the hell did they got out of the beach house. I mean, if the roadside door was blocked and the beachside door meant they would have left footprints, how was the culprit supposed to leave? Why are you getting so upset? Pecco's the suspect here, you know. Just answer my goddamn question, okay? I might be able to provide your answer. What? For stars, I guess I ought to clarify exactly what exit the culprit used. The roadside door was blocked and the beachside entrance will leave incriminating footprints. So I'm pretty sure the only route left is the small window in the shower room. Don't you know how high that thing is? Pekuyama couldn't reach it. No one could. What if someone gave her a lift? Hanada and I tried that during the investigation. It was a total bust. We could get one of us through, but the other person would still be stuck there. Is it possible she used a tool, perhaps something like a rope? So then how'd she dispose of it? You know better than to say something stupid, like she dumped it outside, right? What I tell ya, there's no way she could have gotten out to rough that window. No, she had a tool that could have done it. One that wouldn't break any rules or need to be disposed of. Doesn't everything come together perfectly if Pekuyama is the culprit? I've got it. Her bamboo sword. Pekuyama always carries it. She even had it back at the diner. Couldn't you leave the beach house without worrying about disposing of the tool if you use that bamboo sword as a step to stand on? I've heard about that. Isn't it a ninja thing? Yeah, this wall climbing technique where they stand on the hand guard to get a lift. Wow, so Japanese people can be ninjas. Miss Sonia, it's a Japanese word. Then she could use her sword covering to pull up the bamboo sword behind her, thus making her escape while leaving no evidence behind. I see. So even the sword bag came into play, although he compared it to a ninja technique. But this isn't some cheap parlor trick. Pekuyama was capable of this incredible feat precisely because she bears her sword at all times. It was a method befitting her. Yet that makes it disappointing. If only she allowed me to offer assistance, perhaps we could have hatched a superior plan. God, give it a rest over there. Now just a darn second. All of this is just going on pure speculation. You got nothing to back this up. I ain't buying it without any evidence. Enough. I said that's enough. Any further argument at this point is nothing more than a practice in futility. This brings to mind the saying, the cherry blossom is the epitome of flowers as the samurai is of men. I commend you for at least admitting defeat with dignity. If you acknowledge your guilt, this case is closed. Press onward. Launch into voting. Wait just a second. Before we vote, I'd like to ask Pekoyama about a motive first. My motive? Can't this wait till after we vote? It could affect our verdict. In the end, you didn't have anything to do with Twilight Syndrome murder case, did you? So I was wondering, what drove you to kill Koizumi? Hey, you want to know why? I suppose if I had to give an answer, I might say it was for the sake of my greater justice. Greater justice? I would never dirty my hands over a petty grudge. I would take a life for one reason alone, to see justice done. Well there, what on earth are you talking about? The true order that defines humanity is justice. Humanity should take pride in this esteemed virtue. Justice is the eternal sun and indestructible moon, the father who defends our happiness and the mother who smiles gently upon us. If justice should ever vanish from the face of the earth, the world will freeze in the wink of an eye, and all men will cease to smile. But not as long as I live. Stop! Gleaming overhead in an endless dream, justice must serve as our shining guide. I'm telling you to stop, darn it! As the brilliance of justice showers down upon my mask, I lay bare the grimy vials of evil. Hear the name Sparkling Justice and know it is sorry. I can be found, my eyes fixed to the center of the path as I walk down the road of justice. I am justice's first star of the evening, shining in the darkness of night. Hear the name Sparkling Justice and know it is I. But what the heck? This is too lame for me to play along with. Whoa, Peko totally flipped her lid. Everyone, please be careful. Sparkling Justice is a serial killer who only claims to be a hero of justice. This killer is known for wearing any number of hero masks that span across the ages and seven seas, while striking down criminals left and right. Or so I thought. That's odd. Yeah, what an unexpected turn of events. Not again. Ugh. I believe the question was, why did I kill Koizumi? Allow me to answer. I did it to keep the justice. As you saw, Koizumi collaborated in the murder of another. In other words, she was evil. Heedless of the situation, I must not overlook the presence of evil. For you to know about that when you resort to murder, doesn't it mean you also play the game? Indeed, it does. Thanks to that game, I was able to strike down the evil hiding like a rat and defend justice. Not good. First, Nagita went cuckoo, and now Peko's loco too. I'm not crazy. What's gotten into you? Pekoyama, are you showing your true colors? My true colors? Hardly. I am merely showing the strength of my resolve. The resolve to discard what I hold dear, to protect what I hold dearest. Ah, Ket, I've heard enough. It's past time for this charade to be over. We're voting. He's right. We must bring this nightmare to an end, once and for all. It's obvious. Pekoyama is the killer. Bye, guys.